So, the Acceltra. This gun is something else. Between its high fire rate and critical stats, this weapon can deal quite well with crowds. These automatic micro-missile launchers are Gauss' signature primary, and they're honestly quite interesting. I do have some gripes with them, but when you play around their strengths and account for some of their downsides, it can be incredibly fun to use. Hi, I'm Lilith, and today's weapon in review is the Acceltra, and its older brother the Acceltra Prime. In this video, I hope to arm you with the tools to understand the Acceltra to make it your personal primary. I'll be going over 4 builds, a setup that works by itself, a setup that outsources elements, a status critical hybrid, and a budget build for newer players. But let's start off with the basic overview of the Acceltra. For the sake of time, I will mostly be talking about the Prime variant and only bringing up the base variant if there's a noticeable difference. However, on screen, both the basic and Prime variant stats will be shown so that anyone can follow along. The Acceltra's blueprint is obtained by killing infested demolishers on Uranus. At a 2.5% drop chance per demolisher killed, farming this weapon can be a bit of a grind, as it takes most players on average 40 kills to obtain. However, some unlucky players can see nearly as many as 350 kills before the blueprint drops. To craft the Acceltra, you'll need 4 Neuros dropped from infested missions like those on Eris, 200 Hexanon from missions on Jupiter, 925 Placids from most mission types, 8,000 Nanospores also from most mission types, and 25,000 credits. It takes a full day to craft, and it's locked until you reach at least Mastery Rank 8, so it finds itself being usable during the mid-game. To craft the Prime variant, you'll need the Prime Blueprint, the Prime Stock, the Prime Receiver, and the Primed Barrel, as well as 10 Orokin cells and 15,000 credits. This also takes 24 hours to craft, and Orokin cells can most commonly be found in missions such as the infested Orokin Derelicts on Deimos or Grineer Galleons. This weapon has a relatively low ammo maximum of 96 due to its nature as an explosive weapon, and due to its lower base damage, you can quickly find yourself running out of ammo. It also has a somewhat lower magazine size at a base of 48. However, it makes up for these weaknesses by having a relatively high critical chance of 24%, with a very high 3x critical damage multiplier. Direct hits deal entirely impact and force proc and impact status. When shot beyond 7 meters from the player, the weapon will gain a radial explosion, exploding either on terrain or enemies. These radial attacks primarily deal 80% puncture and 20% slash. Notably, the radial attack features a higher base damage of 53. So ideally you would want to aim at the feet of groups of enemies to maximize its status and damage spread. Although the radial attacks cannot headshot, the direct hits can. This creates a case where you headshot one enemy and cause nearby enemies to take the increased damage of the radial blast. Furthermore, the Prime features a base status chance of 18%, which is vastly higher than its base variant of 6%, making it a prime user of primary Crux, which massively helps with its ammo economy. Both Acceltras also have a unique effect to them, that being their ability to reload 25% faster when running. This is buffed even further to 50% reload speed when wielded either by Gauss or Gauss Prime, though I've noticed that I don't end up using this trait as much unless I'm manually reloading. Now onto the fun part, building the Acceltra. Before I go into the builds, I do need to go over something important to building the Acceltra. The Acceltra has a mostly negative relationship with galvanized aptitude, or more commonly known as gun condition overload, off shorthanded to Gunco or Gun CO. Due to the fact that only a direct hit can benefit from galvanized aptitude, and that most of the damage will be coming from the radial attacks, unless you plan on being close up most of the time, the only real benefit from galvanized aptitude is the extra status chance you get from its primary effect. However, despite this, the increase of status chance will help with status hybrids, even if the secondary effect isn't noticeable, so it can be worth the slot in some builds, and some builds I will be showing will use this mod. This weapon can still cause you to self-stagger if you run into the explosions created by it, but this is usually mitigated since it won't trigger the radial explosions if you're too close to an enemy. Due to the low base damage and somewhat average status chance of this weapon, it's not recommended to run elements like Gas or Blast, as they will struggle to proc and deal damage. So when building for this weapon, keep a few things in mind. You want a base damage source from either Primary Deadhead, Primary Merciless, or Serration, and to make use of its strong critical stats, using elements as an augment for damage, or even outsourcing elements entirely. And another important thing, Rivens aren't recommended for this weapon, as it has an abysmally low 0.55 times multiplier on all Riven stats, being among the lowest of all Rivens in the game. I wouldn't suggest getting a Riven unless you have the time and resources for them, or want to save mod space. So for this next segment, take this with a grain of salt and use it as you see fit. Rivens for the Acceltra tend to be pretty basic, with there being an emphasis on critical damage, critical chance, and multi-shot. But base damage, fire rate, and elements like Toxin are also worth running as they can save on mod space and allow you to eke out extra damage. Furthermore, although due to the base 18% status chance and reload passive, it could be worth the slotted status chance and reload speed for comfort. or for more of a status damage focused build. Negative stats to look out for are weapon recoil, impact, and zoom, as those will affect the weapon the least. For each of the builds I will show after this section, I will include my suggestion of a ribbon and what mod to swap out for it. However, I emphasize not going for ribbons, as due to their nature of being RNG, they can be very resource intensive and very expensive to get a specific ribbon, so only grab one if you really enjoy the weapon and want to maximize the damage of this weapon. Alright, enough stalling. The section you've been waiting for, the builds. Starting off for our newer Tenno, I will be starting with a budget build and it will be applied to the non-primary of the weapon. However, it will still be using certain mods that can be a bit out there to get, like those from the Derelict Vaults on Deimos and those from Cetus Bounties. Though with such a late planet to acquire this weapon, you should have these mods already as they help tremendously with the next stretch of the game. Starting with a new player build, this build uses 4 Forma, an Orokin Reactor, and an Excellence Adapter, but due to the fact you will soon unlock Arbitrations, you can easily swap out Split Chamber for Galvanized Chamber and Infected Clip for Malignant Force. Serration is used to increase the base damage, and you will have this mod from completing the Teacher quest. Infected Clip will be used in conjunction with Rhyme Rounds in order to create Viral, increasing the damage dealt to an enemy up to 325% damage, and can be obtained from most Porpoise enemies. Split Chamber is more difficult to obtain, being a relatively low chance to drop, but the most effective place to farm it is either from Stefano Uranus, which is a defense node, on the C rotation with a 2.26% drop rate, or from General Sargus Rook, who is found on Tethys Saturn, which is an assassination node, with the latter being faster to farm, but only having a 1.01% drop rate. However, if you do not have this mod, or want to save on Forma, you can replace this with Vigilante Armaments, which can be obtained from a level 20 to level 40 Cetus bounty on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd stages. This mod will sacrifice 30% multi-shot to give an extra 5% to the secondary effect, allowing for a 10% chance to increase critical hits instead of the base 5%. Critical Delay and Vile Acceleration are both corrupted mods, being obtained from the Orokin Derelict Vaults on Deimos. These vaults can be opened by using one of 4 Dragon Keys, which are obtained from your clan's dojo. I recommend to farm these on Horrend, Deimos, as it's a capture mission. And due to the fact that you will need all 4 keys equipped to guarantee opening the vault, having a quick objective will allow you to more comfortably explore the infested derelict. Vital Suns can also be farmed alongside Infected Clip. However, it only drops from high-ranking crewmen, so the most effective way to farm this mod is from Venera Venus, which is also a capture node. Rhyme Rounds can most commonly be obtained from Tier 2 spy missions, those being Bode Ceres, Amalthea Jupiter, Valak Europa, and Dione Saturn, all on a C rotation with a 7.74% chance to drop. Meanwhile, Thermite Rounds is obtained from Tier 3 spy missions, however only earned a spy would be open to you by the time you obtain the Acceltra, with a somewhat higher 8.6% chance to drop from a C rotation. Lastly, Vigilante Supplies can be obtained as a final reward on level 20 to 40 Cetus bounties, similar to Vigilante Armaments, or alternatively, from the much more difficult to kill Doma variants, which can be found during the day on the plains of Eidolon. With all of that out of the way, I will now get into the clips on how this weapon performs. I will be playing on Mott Void on the Steel Path using Lavos as my frame of choice. This will show that the build, even without an arcane or higher ranking mods, can still perform well, and Lavos allows me to both show the weapon by itself, but also when it's buffed. I will not be bringing a companion along with, nor will I bring any other weapons. I will extract as soon as the mission ends, and I will be doing the same for the other builds, providing some unscripted commentary on the weapon's performance. I'll be testing this on Mott, using basic Acceltra, no arcanes, nothing of the sort. I'm probably going to die a few times because I'm using Persistence, and there are a lot of high fire rate enemies.
These foes deserve your respect.
We'll see.
Honor them with quick deaths, and I with your victory.
Well, I'm pretty new to
Just
Lavos.
shut down all systems. I'm sending
But,
life support capsules your way.
like, keep in mind, this is Steel Path without arcanes, without galvanized mods, so for the first bit, I'm going to be testing it with, what's it called? And I'm already half health. Holy god. Corpus, please. Well, corrupted, but it's killing pretty well. Although this isn't like a real example of what will happen if you use this. It is a good example of just it by itself. That's the point of this. Just go to Transmutation Probe here. For the group. Buddy invite to get my health back. After about another minute or so, I
Life
will.
support on the way.
This isn't gonna like. I'm going to have to use the life support towers because this weapon isn't really a massive crowd cleaner. At least not this build. But with the explosives, like you can see. Okay, please stop with the. Oh. Maybe resistance Lavos is a mistake. But as you can see, like when I'm close up, it does impact.
Activating it will buy you more time.
And when it does it, yeah. Let me just activate this life support tower. After this, I am going to start infusing elements
Life support activated.
to show like how well it works when you use Lavos' elements, because they help a lot. I do recommend Lavos for this weapon. Right. This weapon requires bursts of enemies. I will be running out of ammo pretty often. Oh, okay. That killed me before my Ophidian bite come out. But this will require ammo, a lot of ammo. You need a lot of enemies as well. That's because Steel Path, they are much harder than Base Path. Let's use my Catalyze. Ooh, my game is not happy there. That was a bit of a lag spike.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
My health back up. Bring this back. Crowd control. Give me my elemental bonus back so that I can deal with corrupted better instead of weak to radiation. But like, this is a pretty good weapon. You need to start with bursts when starting out before the enemies ramp up. That way you can kill a few enemies and whatnot. Obviously, with Base Path, you can just shoot a lot more and kill them a lot easier. Maybe per head. But yeah. Let's do heat here. Get back my radiation with healing. Still new to Lavos, and I think it's fun. This weapon can run out of ammo on Steel Path specifically, like you saw earlier. But if you're playing a frame like Lavos, you can easily kill a few enemies with them.
Left.
Yeah, alright. Because I'd like to not die here.
Life support has been replenished.
Just did not infuse. Now we infused a bit of magnetic. Well, that was not. It's a bit awkward for me to press 4 and 3 at the same time. Okay, here's an acolyte. Perfect. I am going to get out of
Get
here,
ready for a capsule.
and I'm gonna put viral. Find an enemy to whip, and then go over here. That will. Let me
You are running
show
out of
that.
time.
Hi, Mania. You're deflecting my gun. What? Mania, please.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Okay, I need the life support. The life support is just not good on this.
Life support activated.
I'm gonna let Mania live for a little bit so I can go grab these life support towers and also get away from those enemies. Mania deflecting all of my shots is a problem because this thing requires kills. Okay,
Life support has been replenished.
put viral, place that there.
Operative is making progress. This will help our cause. When you are ready,
Where?
extraction.
Here. Teleporting me. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. Place this here. Try to grab my ammo back. Radiation for the whip. There's an Eximus. Oh god. Yeah, heavy units are a problem for this weapon.
Life support
Transmutation probe. That should hopefully keep here. Catalyze, please kill the crowd. There we go, now we reload with the passive, and Mania, come over here. I need whip. I got really unlucky with Mania deciding to deflect all of my weapon. But like you can see, it does okay damage against acolytes. I'm gonna die. There are so many enemies. Yeah.
You are running out of time. Consider extraction.
Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay. Can this Jade Light please go away? Yeah, I died. I died because there's just so many enemies in Steel Path. Like, Persistence was not the play, I don't think. I genuinely don't know. Maybe Persistence would work, but holy god, there are so many high fire rate enemies. So Persistence doesn't matter. That's unfortunate. If Mania deciding to just do that, and then I'm also getting hit by like 13 projectiles from Corpus. So this isn't representative of the weapon, like saying like this is bad. You have to keep in mind that this was still killing Steel Path enemies. So for a base path build meant for newer players, this does pretty well. Although again, I'm not using any companion, I'm not using any other weapons. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. It's good. It's a good build. It will definitely carry you through the star chart. Steel Path, I would suggest bringing other weapons though, because the ammo economy on this thing is not great. As a forewarning for the primary of the weapon, the form accounts will be inaccurate as I applied form in a way that could fit all three builds into one weapon. So I would suggest either using underframe or overframe to calculate the cost of forma for each build you would like to use. Unlike with the extensive guide on how to get the mods for newer players section, I will not be covering how to get the mods or arcades in these next builds, as at this point you will likely already have all of the mods, or have knowledge of where to get them. Now that out of the way, onto the first build. This is a primary Crux build. This build is primarily status focused, relying on applying as many status as possible, and it won't deal in critical damage, but it will still deal a good amount nonetheless. Due to primary Crux, you won't have to reload nearly as often, and it helps the base 18% status chance as well. This setup works best as a primary primer, and can be brought out to prime entire crowds with viral and heat. However, if you want to focus entirely on making this exclusively a primer, you can replace Vital Sense, Critical Delay, and Serration for Magnetic Capacity, Galvanized Aptitude, and Radiated Reload respectively. With all of these combined, you will reach a status chance on average of 133% when primary Crux is active. And due to the radial blasts, it can apply these in a wide area. If you want to run a Riven for this build, then swap out Thermite rounds and run a Riven that has multi-shot, critical damage, and heat for the damage focus side. For the status focus setup, multi-shot, status chance, and heat are more applicable. Most frames can use this build, but notable mentions go to Lavos with Valence Formation and Cyto 9 with Resupply, allowing this weapon to apply even more elements. And this one should be actually able to kill stuff, like deal with crowds, compared to the previous build, which, because, well, to be fair, when you put out a super high armored target with base star chart mods, it's not going to do amazing. You need galvanized mods to help. Not that it's bad, it's just, it's not going to be as good as these builds, because it's not meant for Steel Path. As you can see, this one has a much lower fire rate. But, you know, but it's just like, it's shredding, man. Like, well, not shredding, it's killing pretty well. And I already don't have to reload. Like, I need to reload once. God, why? Jeez. See, it's doing pretty decent against crowds. There's a group of enemies. Entire crowd's killed already. But with the increased multi-shot from Galvanized Chamber, it does help the weapon. Something a little off topic, but it feels so weird playing without enemy highlights, because I've played the game with it for so long. Freeze these enemies so that I can crowd control them a bit.
Life support incoming.
But yeah, this one's already doing a lot better, as you can see. And I don't need to reload as often. Why? Why do they kill me the instant before my Ophidian Bite comes out? Oh, I don't like that. I will admit it does make it a little harder to tell where some enemies are, because they blend in a bit. All in all, like, not too big of a problem. I just need to pay more attention. And then I'm gonna do that. Catalyze will just kill the crowd. Of course, this is paired with the frame abilities. Like, if you're using a different frame, you'll get varying results. Okay, I think now I can, now I can pair it with radiation to make it even stronger since they're weak to it. Like, this build isn't the strongest of the builds I'll be showing off, but it's still, like, really good, because it's meant for comfort. It's more like you just want to sit down and hold the button and just aim for heads, so you don't have to reload, because reloading a lot can be cumbersome. I'm finding out more that I don't know if persistence is the choice or just something wrong with my build. Just gonna do that. There's a heavy unit. Did pretty decent. Like, it's not great for heavy units. It's not gonna be dealing a lot of damage against Eximus, but it does good damage. Crux, my beloved. I love this arcade. It's so nice for having just status primers. Of course, with the status primer, like I said in the big things, you can replace the crit stats for radiated reload and magnetic capacity, mitigate galvanized aptitude or restoration, and this will just prime a large group of enemies. Because I mean, look, it's an AOE. You can even slot prime Firestorm as well. Or is it Fulmination? It's one of the two. The one that increases the AOE, if you want to run that route too. It's pretty fun. I'd like to put Blast here. Blast again for the Transmutation Probe. Okay, that thing is kind of cool. And this one's actually keeping up life support because it can kill. Like, the Acceltra is not a bad weapon. It's a good, solid weapon. And the primes increase the stats help a lot, especially the status chance. Because, what is it? I think I'm hitting around 100% status chance on each hit. Well, no, I'm not. Well, we'll see. Okay, here comes the ultimate test. I'm going to put Viral to double up on viral damage, because I'd like to get more viral stacks. Now, go up. Angst. Here, you're down here. Okay, I need Transmutation Probe. Get my whip back. Here you are. And Angst. Oop, where'd you go? There you go. And now she's dead. Like, this is a lot more comfortable than the previous build, because again, the previous build is meant for base charge chart. This is meant for steel pad. As you can see, I've not run out of ammo once this entire run.
Has just made their first discovery. Keep up the good work. Extraction is available if you need it.
Yeah. I think I'll just leave the entire thing. Ooh. I had died once because, like, again, I'm not used to persistence. I'm more used to shield gating and using frames that have innate DR. Oh wait, you're not going to spawn until... Okay. I think you're weak to radiation? I genuinely don't know. You're either considered a corrupted or a Grenier. And I believe you're considered corrupted. Here you are, boy. Where are you? There you are. I'm not sure where you are, but there you are, boy. teleporting. He's doing decent though. Goodbye, Vor. But yeah, this build, it's just meant to be more like a comfort pick. It's not meant to be like, oh, this is gonna kill everything super fast, super well. It's more like you want to be able to just shoot and just keep shooting without having to rely on reloading as much. It's entirely designed just to be able to make use of Crux to get more status chance. On to the next build, the status hybrid build. This build is by far the most balanced of all the builds. It won't deal nearly as much damage as the next build, but for what it lacks in damage, it makes up for applying viral and not relying on outside sources for it either. This build is great as a support primary and scales quite well if you can prime enemies with multiple elements beforehand. This build is more for pulling out to shoot some enemies and kill a few groups, but best paired with outside buffs. This build runs Galvanized Aptitude for the status chance, allowing for more mods to go towards critical damage. With Shred for fire rate and primary deadhead to be able to slot out Serration, it will deal decently well with crowds. For this build, the replacement slot is Rhyme Rounds, and the rivet stats you would want to look out for are multi-shot, critical damage, and cold. If you want to use this build, I can't recommend it enough on frames like Nasia or Limbo, who will allow it to deal more damage and be able to take better of effect of its critical stats. This one is a little more volatile to use. You do need enemy density because it will tear through rounds quickly. But with it tearing rounds quickly, it does kill often.
The art of combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas of war.
They have just shut down all systems.
Also, because I really dislike how you have to wait for here, if you do the Nora skip, after Nora finishes her combo, this should just open up quicker. Well, it's meant to, or just not. I don't know why they make this last so long to open. Or can that door not actually open? Oh, that door just can't open. But yeah, as soon as you do Nora, like the Nora mix setup, you can skip. Holy God. That is always the hardest part of starting survival here. Is that instant few stacks, just instantly losing it all. The shotguns really shred through my health. What the shotguns are so hard. But yeah, you can see this is really easily killing. And I'm also dying really easily. And I haven't even gotten into Valence formation.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
In general, I won't be using Lavos' infusions until after the first life support drops. That way you can get a sense for just the weapon by itself. I'm still learning how to... Oh, that's satisfying. That was satisfying. Oh, I love that.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
Yeah.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Okay, now I can actually use the infusions. I do want my health back, please. Okay, transmutation forward. As you can see, with a status that they're weak to. Oh, do you not want to reload? Okay. But with a status they're weak to, entire crowd right here, just gone. I will talk with some Lavos players that I know, see to refine this build a bit. I won't be using these, just for the sake of keeping this fair and it being an actual 5-minute test. Although I would like to. Actually, no.
Get ready for a capsule.
I was thinking maybe getting an extra reward, but I don't particularly care that much about the extra rewards. Is this here? A pretty good fight. Clear out the entire crowd. This build I really like. It's not my favorite build. I really love the Crux build. and it was the first build I came up for with this weapon. It's just super comfortable, and I personally don't mind low fire rate weapons. I prefer them over high fire rate weapons. But most people prefer high fire rate weapons, and I understand
Now
that.
available.
They're very effective. They increase your DPS. And it's good to use them. We'll use some magnetic here, since there's a arson exodus. And we'll go back to radiation, put down the radiation code. Viral here to try to get base damage. I have a I will be waiting for the Acolyte to show up. That way, you can see its damage against the Acolyte. But I will not be waiting for Vor. If Vor shows up early, I'll kill Vor, like with the last mission, but if he shows up late, I won't kill him. Simple as that. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised at how much I'm able to talk right now, even though I'm by myself. Usually I struggle with that. That makes me happy. Of course, you don't have to use combo elements. I could just use heat here. Toxin. Toxin actually might be good here. Okay. I will use Toxin. There we go. I'm gonna go up here. That way I'm not bothered as much. Oh, holy God. Yeah, there are a lot of enemies here. Malice, come over here. Please, good sir, into this room. Can you... Do you... There? As you can see, it does pretty well against Acolytes. Not the best, mind you. But not the worst.
The raid is off to a successful start.
Just use this, because that will chain
Extraction is
into...
available. If
Or
you
I'll probably use Blastmore on that. I'm still learning Lavos. Lavos is fun. Lavos isn't my main. Not even close. My lane is Limbo. But Lavos is a frame that I will explore a lot. Let me grab that. Oh, there's two of them. Hell yeah. Okay, now I go. Goodbye. Shout out to Nairu for preventing me from just outright dying. The Crux build did a lot better. To be fair, I also had a better map.
You are running out of time. Consider
For
extraction.
life support, that is. But this one didn't.
Was greater.
This one held up still. Damn. I'm out here doubling my words. But held up still. And lastly, but definitely not least, the Outsource Viral build. This is a build that is incredibly potent, but relies on outsourcing Viral to reach its full effectiveness. This build is meant to be used in game modes like Survival with constant spawns, as it will be running out of ammo quite often elsewise. I would highly suggest pairing this with a Vulpa Philo or Jericho with Viral, as it'll clear out crowds quite well. This build gets even stronger once you account for outside buffs like Araxia's Silken Stride, Rhino's Roar, or even Limbo's Rift Torrent. This build drops all status except for Galvanized Aptitude for the direct damage bonus. It runs Galvanized Scope to enhance the critical chance to well over 100%, and a Bane mod to further increase the damage dealt by 1.55 times. If you pair this with a frame like Lavos, the Bane mod will double dip with status effects to deal even further damage. This build has two variants, a primary overcharge build with Serration as the last mod, and a primary deadhead setup that replaces Serration for Rifle Elementalist. For the former build, it pairs best with frames who can keep up high energy stocks, like Limbo, Araxia, and Grendel, but you can slot it with other frames like Yoreli if you subsume Nourish or Brightbond onto them. I personally run the primary overcharge setup with Araxia, as with Xenofire's Persistence build, I can constantly keep my energy capped and get 199% bonus multi-shot. However, if you run this on Side or Lavos, who will push this weapon far over the edge, then I suggest the primary Deadhead build, as it will perform more comfortably and you won't have to micromanage energy. If you'd like to run a ribbon for this build, then you can replace either Serration or Galvanized Aptitude for any elemental status, preferably Heat, base damage, and critical damage. Or, if you run this with the aforementioned Lavos, you can replace both Serration and Galvanized Aptitude for Rifle Elementalist, and a ribbon that has multi-shot critical damage and critical chance. Finally, now that I'm on Steel Power, now that all of that's taken care of, Bane mods. They do more damage, And they also increase, well, they double dip with status damage. So they're really good. Although I know that people will find it annoying to use Bane mods constantly. So the Bane mods I suggest are Corrupted and Grenier.
They're trying to choke you out.
Because you'll be fighting Corrupted a lot, and the Grenier are also the next most common faction. This here is a direct damage build. This is meant to be used with status. I just need to get a kill. Well, that's proving more difficult because of how many enemies there are. Get a kill, and then it should just ramp up. Right, it's just not going to because I failed to get that first kill. Okay, now that Deadhead's proc, this should be fun. I just needed Deadhead proc first. This one has the highest setup with the highest roll. And it is the most volatile because if you don't have viral outsourced, it won't do as well. Like, this is not doing bad, but keep in mind, I don't have any elements on this weapon right now. Which is a massive nerf to the damage. That's because you're meant to have elements from outside sources with this build. No viral, no heat. Yeah. Oh, now that I can use it, what I can do, or that can happen, because I have to die every single time in this. It's fine. Just place that there, and watch it tear down Crux. That was a heavy unit. That is an entire room cleared. Why? Why do shotguns just kill like so easily? Man, shotguns are the bane of my existence in this. With frames that don't have resistance, it's easy. I'm gonna die a lot. I can tell it already. But yeah, once it's going and you start using like outside buffs, this can be incredibly strong. Might be even worth it. Oh, I can't look like thinking, right? Because it drains energy. Oh my god. Please stop with the shotguns. Ah, I want my health, but it's shredded instantly. Dude, this is the worst performance I've done. I might need to replace Augur Reach with, Augur Reach on my build with more life support. I already have Vitality. I'll see what I can do about it. Yeah, this is an incredibly strong build. Like I've said a couple times. The Banes double dip into the status. Status does insane damage viral. Well, obviously, if you want to use an outsourced viral with this, use something like Toxic. Yeah, aside from me being massively skill issue with levels, because I'm still not sure how to survive this many. I guess you're supposed to use your people to keep the one up. That way you can... I don't know. I'm theory crafting. I'm not used to persistence still. Get in here. Get in this hallway. Misery, get in the hallway. Misery, where are you? Where did Misery go? Okay. Hello, Misery. Okay. I need this group here to go away. I would like Misery to here.
The raid is off to a successful start. Extraction.
As you can tell, the explosions are a lot stronger than the direct hits. But that is pretty well. Aside from my skill issue of dying, as you can see, I'm constantly getting red crits, and it's absolutely tearing through crowds of enemies. And even heavy units start to fold. So this is the most volatile build, because if you don't have the, what's it called? If you don't have viral outsource, it won't perform as well. But if you do, and you pair this with a frame like Araxia, it's going to clear out entire rooms. Honestly, really fun setup, and my favorite with the group, especially with Araxia.
You well.
I like Persistence Araxia a lot. Xenos Fires is made a really fun build. But yeah, that's really just goes about, covers the different types. And I don't really know what else to say about there other than just this is best on platforms, and this build is the strongest of the 4 that I've shown. But all 4 builds can perform in Steel Path if you don't skill issue like me, and you actually like maintain the spawns, because for the beginning you have to burst for a bit, but once you get your kills going, you can just keep it going without having to worry. It's only that initial that makes it difficult. Obviously, the companion, like the Hound, it's going to clear out rooms. I don't have local filers because I don't really care to get one, because I use Diriga. But yeah, my point still stands. Very fun weapon, and the next one that I will be researching into is the Aelak. This is a very interesting and very strong rifle, so look forward to that sometime in the future. Probably a month from now, because of how long this is going to take me to edit. This weapon can make use of other arcades and setups that I purposely didn't go over here, like running Eternal Bleeding and Hunter Munitions to turn this into a powerful slash-based primary, or by using Primary Accelerate to turn it into a source of energy, since direct hits will always proc impact, thus proccing Primary's Accelerate's effect. Not to mention the myriad of builds that make use of certain frames or arcades, like Arcane Hotshot to replace Critical Delay, or Kome's with her Decrees. Over time, as I experiment with the myriad of weapons and builds, I might post specific builds with frames and weapon synergies as short-form videos, but for the sake of this video, this is where I'll end this segment. In this last section, I want to give my personal thoughts and ratings on how this weapon performs. To start, I think it has a wonderful design, even if I think the lack of ammo pool can really hurt it. Vigilante Supplies does synergize incredibly well with it, but it can hurt some secondaries that have low ammo pools like the Gastanas. In terms of visual design, this weapon is incredible. It gets full marks as it's a fast-firing rocket launcher, and honestly, that's cool as all hell. With some amazing skins such as the Day of the Dead skin from Nightwave, or the recently released Nitro skin with the Shadowgrapher update. This weapon goes from pretty good to even better when you add any frame buffs like Araxia's Webbed Embrace for damage vulnerability, Volt's Shock Trooper for electric damage, or even Lavos' Valence Fusion to infuse any element to turn this into a good primary primer. The myriad of build diversity this weapon can use is also really nice, so I'll give it full marks for performance, but I'll have to knock some points off for modding due to the fact that Vigilante Supplies is almost mandatory due to its ammo supply issues. All in all, I'd give it a solid A tier. I can't in good faith give it an S tier as it has some issues with ammo, it can struggle with heavy units, and ultimately it would rather be used on platform frames instead of most frames. But for most enemies it does quite well, and aside from a somewhat annoying farm, it's quite enjoyable to use. That just about wraps up everything I have to go over this weapon. To give my final thoughts on the weapon, I think that this weapon can be quite powerful and enjoyable if you run it with weapon platforms, but by itself it can feel a bit lackluster and can struggle to keep its ammo economy up. Still, I love running this with Araxia and grabbing onto a wall, clearing out rooms with it. It's a great weapon that can fit in a lot of builds, so do give it a shot sometime. Overall, I think this weapon holds a solid place in the game, though I really wish it was moved to an earlier planet like Jupiter. If you have any questions, suggestions, or maybe something I missed, please let me know in the comments or via Discord at Makoto_Nijima. Though if you do DM me, please make sure to state your region in the initial message. I will not accept friend requests nor respond if you simply message me hi. I'm more than happy to answer questions and help newer players of the game. I may only have 6 months of playtime, but I've studied this game for nearly 2,500 hours, as I wish to help newer players learn the game better. I may not be as knowledgeable as Xenos Fire, Kengineer, or Cool Kid, but I do aim to make my channel a place that newer players can understand and build in a way that makes it more enjoyable for them. This next part is a bit unscripted. It's mostly just me talking off script because I do want to thank you for watching this long video. I put a lot of effort into this script, and I really, really enjoy this weapon. But I understand that if this is a bit much to listen to because it is quite dense. So I will be making short form videos that go over basic like builds similar to how Xenos Fire does, but more focused on just pointing out the weapon's like stats and things like that rather than just giving a raw build. I mean, there will be a build included, but the point of these weapon and review videos is to go over everything I can about the weapon because I absolutely love this game and I love researching as well. Honestly, the amount of knowledge you can get from playing this game comes down to how you use the time, not how much time you've spent on it. So I just bring it up because, like, yeah, I have 6 months of playtime, but I've spent so much time researching. As this game's absolutely gorgeous and incredible, and it's my favorite game. Anyways, small side rant aside, I absolutely love Disruption. I did not struggle farming this weapon, mostly because I spent a long time on it anyways. Yeah, it took me like 80 kills to get it, but no, but like, yeah, that's longer than the 40 on average. I just love Disruption. I think it's an incredible game mode. I wish we got more of it, like more unique variants on it. I'd love to see. I love it when it pops up in Elite Deep Archimedia, but I don't like some of the modifiers. I do hope they explore more maps with it though, because it's really fun. Anyways, a little side tangent aside. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.